Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Aditya, Cabinet Head of the English Learning Program, and I'm excited to welcome you all to our final session of Demystifying Interviews, Interview Insights from HR. Today, we are going to demystify the interview process. We'll cover what makes a strong first impression, how to structure your thoughts, speak with clarity, and stand out positively. We'll also be conducting one-on-one mock interviews, so make sure to stay till the end. We are delighted to have Aditya Pradhan with us today. Aditya is a seasoned talent acquisition professional, currently working as a talent acquisition executive with Lodha Developers. Aditya has previously held roles such as talent acquisition specialist with PwC India and talent acquisition intern at Capgemini. He possesses extensive experience in handling interviews, candidates, and recruitment processes. Apart from his corporate achievements, Aditya is also a published author, having written two books. He has been a keynote speaker at prestigious institutes including IIT Bombay, IIT Jammu, and IIM Srimoy. With this, I would like to hand over to Aditya for the session. Aditya, you are on mute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you so much, Aditya, for a very insightful and wonderful introduction. Hi everyone, Aditya here. Uh, as Aditya mentioned, I am currently working with Lodha developers as a talent acquisition professional. And in my previous stints, I've worked with PwC and Capgemini, as well as I'm also a distinguished guest lecturer at many IITs and IIMs. I welcome you all to this session on a Saturday afternoon. And today we would be looking at various topics related to the internship discussions. We would be having some discussions. We would be understanding the process. We would be also sharing some few moments wherein you guys can ask me any questions. And in the end, there would be some mock interviews as well. So we'll start with the main thing for today. So perhaps if anyone who wants to connect with me, on LinkedIn, you can just scan this QR code. I'll just flash it for like 30 seconds. Okay. Moving forward, today's agenda where we will discuss about self-introduction techniques. We'll also discuss about the STAR technique. We'll discuss about how to glance through interview questions, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, and in the end, we'll take a random Q&A session. Okay. So before we begin, I would like you, to have answer this for me. Like, what does placement or what does internship basically means for you in one word? When you hear the word placements or summer placements or internship placements, what does it strike to you exactly? You can just go to menti.com and answer this. Come on, guys, respond fast. Professional. Okay. Interview. Okay. Job. Freedom. Stress. Okay. We'll come on this part as well. Money. Okay. Sounds great. Sounds great. No problem. I believe you guys have you know pretty much answered this. Keep answering for next like 30-50 seconds. We'll switch on to the main topic post that. Opportunity, financial freedom. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. So now we begin with the self introduction techniques for today, wherein we'll discuss about an example that I'll present live. Perhaps how to introduce. We'll also discuss about what things to avoid and what things are the must when we introduce. When we introduce ourselves. So basically, starting on with self introduction. Self introduction is very crucial because when we are introducing ourselves to someone, it presents a whole image of us to them. So that basically sets the tone for the rest of the interview. Here in self introduction, it is basically an opportunity that perhaps gives a snapshot of who you are, what you bring to the table, and why you are pitching up yourself for the opportunity, and why it is a case wherein uh, you are telling the interviewer that why are you fit for this role, or why are you perfectly fit for this opportunity. So uh, so into self introduction, a properly well crafted self introduction can actually make or break your interview, wherein me as an HR, or else anyone who is working as a HR professional, would observe towards how you are willing to the or how you are committed to the opportunity. What kind of image are you presenting about yourself, how you are sounding, how you are dressing up. Okay, it shows a lot, like the minor things about you when you introduce yourself in the in the self introduction part, be it about any of your hobbies, be it about any of your be it about any of your other activities that you have done during your academic life. It tells a lot about how you are as a person, and does this person basically align with my company values or no. All right. So moving forward to the So as I said, self-introduction basically sets the tone for the rest of the interview. And it is a very good opportunity of telling someone, who you are and why you are here today. Okay. So this is the whole definition of what self-introduction means. And now we'll techniques or how perhaps we can move forward with the self-introduction part. All right. So structuring the self-introduction is a very important task wherein one thing here and there would actually be a very crucial make or break point for your internship profile. So perhaps we start with the greeting and name. Okay, wherein we actually discuss about where we are coming from. Then we also discuss about the educational background. Okay, that why why have you chosen this background? Okay, from what background you're coming from, and why does this background actually sounds good, or it sounded good to you when you passed out your school. Okay, then once we discuss about our name, greetings, and educational background, we discuss about our professional experience. Suppose if anyone who's having a proper full-time work experience or anyone who has done, some certain internships in the past, we talk about that. So here we discuss about internships, any kind of roles that we have done previously, then let's suppose any kind of transition that we have supported, in the past. We talk about all these things. We talk about how fruitful your journey has been when it comes to professional experience or when it comes to internships. And then we talk about our skills and strengths. So you mention your best skills, perhaps if anyone's having his or her best skill, as speaking, or else if someone's having any best skills, any technical skills or any other additional skills, you add weight to that. You always add weight to your skills and strengths, because here is where you actually tell the interviewer or you actually tell the firm that these are my strengths, these are my skills, and I'm willing to improve on it if you find something, if you find something uh, as a flaw in it. And with these skills, you are ready to take up the world, you are ready to take up on the internship opportunity, and you are ready to crack it as well, and you are ready to prove your mettle. Okay. Then post that, we move towards the notable experiences and contributions part, wherein we discuss about any kind of experiences or contributions. Let's assume you would have helped someone in any kind of professional tragedy, or else you suppose if you have done any contribution towards your school, suppose if you have done any contribution as an individual towards any of the NGOs, that support any poor students, or you have been a part of NSS, or else, Rotaract Club, anything, any kind of, experience that you find crucial. And that is something that describes a lot about yourself, you can put it up over here, you can describe it. Then comes about hobbies, interests, and personal traits, wherein you will describe about your hobbies. Okay, the hobby can be anything. So if I give you an example, I have a hobby, of collecting Hot Wheels cars. And my interests, personally, I would say I know they lie towards gaming. Like, I play a lot of games, I'm a big gamer. And personal traits, I would like to say that I am a very calm guy. I take up things very, very, very calmly, and I don't easily let things go out of my hand. And yeah, these all kind of personal traits you will describe, any kind of hobby. So suppose if someone's having cooking as a hobby, someone's having photography as a hobby. Okay, you can describe about that. You can share about your interests. So some people are interested in geopolitics. Some people are interested in, wildlife research and all. So you can here, discuss about your interests, your personal traits, what exactly are a kind of individual you are when you are at home and when you are at a professional place. Okay, pardon me. And then the last point of the introduction is where you will describe about your future aspiration with the firm. Perhaps you will tell, what kind of thing that has made, that has made you to apply for this firm or to sit for this opportunity. And what are your personal ambitions? What are your goals when you enter this firm? And what are you looking to achieve in this firm in the internship period? Okay. So suppose if there is a firm XYZ who's offering a PPO. All right. So you will not directly say that, my future aspiration is bagging a PPO from this offer. You will first, express your aspiration, describing that, okay, suppose if your internship is for 2.5, 3 months, in those 3 months, you are willing to put your everything and you're looking someone, you're looking at yourself as someone, who will make the difference in these 3 months as well, who will improve the quality of the ongoing work, of the ongoing processes, and can add a bit of newness to it. And post that, whatever happens, the conversion of PPO, yes or no, that is a very different question. And that is something related to how you work. All right. So this is about, the personal self introduction part. Okay. Suppose if now I have to introduce myself. Okay. I'll start with my name. So myself, Aditya, I have completed my Bachelor's of Commerce in from Mumbai University in the year 2022, and I am an active current HR professional. The reason behind choosing, human resources as a career for me has always been about people. I like speaking with people. I like, managing the people processes, and that is something that has brought me here. I like to understand about different kinds of mindset people have. And since HR basically is all about understanding people, interviewing people, managing the processes, I would like to understand, or this field will probably give me, something that I want to understand people's mindset, to learn something from them and to be a better person. Okay. So here I'm describing my greetings and name, and I'm describing my educational background. Then comes my professional experience, wherein I'll mention, okay, about my experience with Loda. So going forward, suppose if I say, like, I'm currently working as a talent acquisition professional with Loda, with past experiences with PwC and Capgemini, where I've worked also into TA. My skills include, various technical skills, presentable skills, Microsoft Office communication skills, writing, and I'm also a published author. And I've done some notable country contribution, during my bachelor's days, to the NSS camps, to the COVID funds. I have also been a volunteer during the COVID times. And then I'll tell about my hobbies, wherein, I'll share, like, my personal hobbies lie, for like my personal hobbies, photography, and perhaps collecting Hot Wheel cars or making a Hot Wheel collection. Then I have a very big interest in gaming. I have been, I have been a gamer for quite a long time now. And my personal traits is that I am a very calm and, chill guy who perhaps looks to, enhance his network or enhance his friend circle or enhance his professional surroundings. And I always believe in the power of positivity. And my future aspirations with this firm would be definitely to bring a change to the current processes, a positive change to any of the current systems, and also to perhaps add a value to the firm, a value to the firm's policies. And I would like to then see myself growing in this firm for quite a long period of time. So this is how you will introduce yourself. Okay. Perhaps you can take 1 minute or 2 minutes to describe about yourself. And basically in internships, that much is enough. Okay. So behavioral questions and star technique. So there is, another PDF that I'll share with you guys post session. Perhaps Aditya and Ayush would help me to share it with you guys. Uh, Anyone who can unmute and tell me what is star technique before we actually move towards it? Anyone who can tell me what is star technique?
Situation, task, action, result.
Okay. And what exactly do you do in the star technique? If you could just answer.
For some action, say for instance, an internship, what was the issue or the situation given to me, and what task did I take to solve it, and then my action, and the last was the result.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. So yes, as Dhruv rightly mentioned, star technique is basically situation, task, action, and result. Okay. So we'll have a deep conversation into this. Okay. So for the star technique, suppose if you are being told to describe an experience from your previous internships wherein you have to meet tight deadlines, or else as an intern wherein you know your role in the firm, you know your importance in the firm. Okay. And considering that, what exact deadline was given to you? How did you met and what was the result? Okay. So instead of saying that, oh, you know, I was given this task, this for the situation, no one supported me. I was the one who was doing everything alone. And then the result was positive or negative, whatever it was. Okay. There should be something very structured when it comes to helping the HR understand about your experience, about what task you took. So that will start with the S, that is situation, wherein you will actually describe the task that you performed or the challenge that was in front of you. So let's assume, in my PwC experience, where I was, I guess, in the year 2023, the moment I got into the firm, I was given a very big task of onboarding CA freshers, as it was a fresh CA season out there during February March 2023. So we had to do campus drives. We have to. I mean, we were supposed to undertake the whole responsibility of the North India region, of the East India region, and the West India region as well. And since I was new, the challenge before me was understanding the company processes, the company policies, as well as to support the other individual in the team with the hiring drive as well. Okay, so I'll describe about this. So suppose if I have to describe, I'll describe it like suppose uh, throwback to the year 2023 when I joined PwC India as a talent acquisition specialist. Upon onboarding and starting my day-to-day activities with PwC, I was given a task, with onboarding the CA freshers for that particular academic year or for that particular financial year, and it was a very peak CA hiring season period. And the task before me was perhaps coordinating for the process, also perhaps coordinating with the candidates, with the campus teams, with the ICAI as well. And on top of this, I also had to understand company policies because it was only 4 5 odd days since I joined. Okay, so this is how I will explain the situation to the interviewer, making him understand that, okay, none of the points is missing when I'm making the person aware about what kind of situation was in. I cannot just simply tell that I got into a situation, perhaps there was less support from the team because everyone was having their own task and I navigated it myself. Definitely, that things are there, no doubt. But it should always be a structured way. It should always be something that will help the people sitting on table in front of you understand the entire thing or entire context properly. Okay, then I'll tell the task. So I was given a task to handle the north and the east region and to totally onboard around 60 70 odd CA freshers. Okay. Sorry. So I'll describe about the task. I'll describe the gravity of the situation because there was a deadline. So, 60, 70 odd freshers in a span of like suppose 7 days. Okay, so I'll make the panel understand what was the gravity of the situation, how urgent it was, and uh, then I'll move towards the action part. So I'll say, what kind of action do I took? I distributed my day into two parts, wherein first part, suppose, the starting 2 hours of the day was to understand the processes. Then the rest, 2 hours gone out of 9 hours. Then rest 1 hour for following up with the candidates for the previous days, then calling up the ICAI officials, understanding them about the shortlisting results, giving them an idea about what exact the current process is, how many candidates are there in the funnel, how many are about to come. Okay, so all these things, whatever tasks did I took, and then what I did in the second half, how did I contact with the candidates? What kind of questions was I supposed to ask to them? Okay, and what kind of input was I expecting from them? What kind of input I got from them, and what did I record, as my notes? So I'll explain the task very properly. I'll make every single thing clear that this is the whole work that was given to me. Okay, this was the task, and this is the action that I took. Because see, there were scenarios wherein I was not getting help, and in my first week of the office only, since it's a big CA drive, I was required to wait beyond my working hours. Okay, so that is something very very crucial, where you make the interviewer understand about your experience as well. Because suppose if you repeatedly tell that I was being made to wait after working hours, there was no one supporting me, it kind of shares a negative image about your firm or about your ex colleagues. Okay, whatever the situation is, whatever the reality is, frankly speaking, it never happened with me, by God's grace. But there are instances like yesterday also I saw a good director level candidate, perhaps in the flow of explaining, he started bad mouthing about his own firm. Okay, so whatever happened, when you are describing a situation that has been a serious one, okay, and somewhere it has might, it may have hurted you personally, you are not meant to describe it in such a way that it will automatically shift to bad mouthing about your ex colleagues or about your ex firm. That sends a very wrong image. Okay, so the toning, the drafting of the or the framing of the sentences should be very careful when you are describing any task or when you are describing any situation. Okay, and then you are required to share the result of it. Suppose suppose if there was a situation wherein I was told that I need to onboard 70 odd CAs, and I was only able to onboard, let's say, 40. Okay, I was only on let's say I was only able to onboard 40 people. That will be a negative outcome for me. Okay, there would be repercussions for this. But definitely that also I need to tell it to the panel, because that will show that I'm not hiding anything. Okay, because you cannot always go in the interview when a task has been told to describe. You always cannot, be positive or sugarcoat yourself. And nothing like, always remember, in corporates, there would be days, there would be situations, there would be tasks wherein continuously one, two, three tasks will go either way. That some of them will go to your favor, some of them will not go towards your favor. And it is okay when you are describing this, because that shows that you are honest. That shows that something that you have learned from that. Okay, so it is important to make the panel understand as well that okay, I have learned from this, and then in the future task, what did I achieve after learning from the previous task? What was the thing that I perhaps emphasize on, that I brought a change into? If there is any positive thing, suppose if I have, like, that I onboarded 72 odd CAs, two more than what was given to a target to me, that will go into a surplus side. And I'll tell the panel that, okay, since it was positive, what kind of impact it had me, it had on me positively, and how did I keep the same consistency across in the future tasks as well. So this is how you describe a task. This is how you describe, one or two situations when it comes to star technique and describing, the overall task that was given to you in your previous professional experience. Then we move towards body language and communication skills. Okay. So before moving to body language and communication skills, I do have some sort of questions to you guys. So wanted to understand, what would you do, or suppose till now in your previous experiences as well, what thing was the one that you took upon, suppose if you were asked about a skill and that you were not confident in, how exactly you responded, or how exactly would you respond? Anyone can unmute this and anyone can tell, or you can even drop in the chat box as well. Anyone? I'll repeat the question. You are asked about a skill you are not confident in. How do you respond to it? Anyone, guys? Tell me. I mean, if even if it's wrong, we can have a discussion on it. Like it is, it is important to understand this part as well.
Hello, Aditya, you are on mute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So yeah, about body language and communication skills, you know, when we go to an interview process, we should understand that not only about the practical knowledge that we have, or not only about the that not only about the skills that we have learned over time or the professional experiences, your body language depicts, or your body language tells a lot about you as a person. Some people enter the interview room, very very straight shouldered, and they try to assert dominance, over the interview panel. By some or the other means, they will perhaps sit like this, perhaps like this. They will cross their legs, they will keep banging the floor, or they will keep tapping the floor with their legs. They will perhaps, do some weird actions, okay, or else they will keep tapping the table. Anything, any kind of these things, you need to avoid, because see, as much as your impression is based on your skills, on your experiences, what things you have done in your professional life, you know 50% of those perhaps, is also taken up by how you are presenting yourself in the interview process. Okay. So be it anything, be it your posture, you should perhaps sit like this, perhaps take your hands like this, put it down. There are some certain mudras as well, wherein perhaps you can research on the internet. You can go through it. Okay. You can sit straight, not too straight, not too shouldered up or not too shoulders down. Okay, you can sit properly, you can sit straight. Okay, and how you are eye contacting with, what are your gestures? It should not be कि आप हर एक चीज को हाथ हिला के बोल रहे हो. Okay, या फिर you are pointing out to some things. It should not be like that. Okay, uh, proper hand-eye coordination, proper eye contacts. You should not always, seem serious. Like suppose if you're making, you are trying to understand, trying to make someone understand about about a certain scenario. It should not that you should always be serious face. Bring up a smile on your face, but ऐसा भी मत करो कि वो smile पूरे आप interview में करते रहो, wherein a panel is suppose judging you and you are still smiling. Okay, so there should be a self-awareness about what kind of body language or what kind of gestures you have to, give it to the interviewers. Okay, because that is very important and it depicts or or it reflects about how positively you are there today for the interview. It's okay. Okay, it's okay to be stressed, and also it's okay to to be under a bit of tension, but that should not reflect the it that should not be reflected on your face. Okay, so for that, perhaps the best advice I give anyone who's appearing for interview are two things. First is try meditation before the interview, and second thing, before you go for an interview, try speaking with yourself. So sit in front of a mirror, perhaps close the door of your room, sit in front of a mirror and talk with yourself a lot. Okay, ask various kind of questions to yourself. See how you are reacting to it. Perhaps you can also record yourself as well. See how you are presenting, how you are sitting, what kind of hand gestures are you giving, what kind of expressions are you giving. Okay, what kind of expressions are coming out of you, to which particular question you are feeling stressful, or to which particular question you are feeling the most comfortable with, and what kind of discussion actually drives you. Okay, actually drives you either towards a positive way or towards a negative way. Okay, so practice these two things before you go to an interview. The second one is always the best. Meditation तो आपको करना ही करना है, no doubt, because see, even today, suppose if I'm going for an interview, there would definitely be something that is that is gonna be asked, and I would be 100% tensed upon it. Okay, so if I'm meditating, let's say for even 10-15 minutes or even for 5 minutes, that will help me to bring my mind to one place. There would be a lot of things. Suppose if you have three internships in line, three interviews in line, your mind will bound to to fly across all these three things. But suppose if you are going with a calm mind, you have followed all the process, you have done a good self talk with yourself, you have done the meditation part, it will help you to stay glued to the current opportunity. आपको ऐसे थॉट्स नहीं आएंगे कि अरे ये तो शायद से हाथ से जा रहा है, इसमें इसमें इसका जेडी ही इतना डिफिकल्ट है, कंपनी थोड़ी अलग रोल लेके आई है, ये रोल मुझे 100% मैच नहीं होता, तो शायद से मैं अभी अगले रोल पे फोकस करूं या फिर अगले फॉर्म पे फोकस करूं. एंड दिस थिंग्स आर प्रीटी नॉर्मल टू अपीयर इन योर माइंड. ओके, बट at that point of time when you are preparing at the 11th hour or a day before for the interview, it is not appropriate. Okay, so follow all these things. Okay, handle your stress very well, and as it is shown here, like interviews are nerve-wracking, but how you keep yourself calm and composed, how you are despite the difficult questions that would be thrown to you towards you, how you are navigating through it, is something that we want to see. Because as an intern, when you join the firm, we will test you with every kind of scenarios. Okay, पहले ही your competitive exam has tested you. Okay, then your IIT life tests you, then your internship tests you, and then you go and get a job. Okay, so internship mein we tests, like we test everything. So suppose if someone's having issue with with waiting for longer period of time in office, okay, that is also being tested. Someone who's not really a person who gets in conversation with people, with different kind of people. Okay. Suppose someone who's an introvert. At workplaces, you need to be a bit of extrovert, because without that, you cannot always, complete your task, or you cannot survive in the office. I understand there would be some people who would be getting shy because of, introvertness to connect with people. But understand the thing that as an employer, I would like to see how you are building people in the firm, because eventually going forward, वो आपके ही profit में जाने वाला है. The more people you connect with, will test you on this parameter, will test you on the time parameter, will test you on the deadline parameter. So every kind of parameter that you can think, the employer is going to test you some or the other way. Okay. So that is the reason when any of the difficult questions arise, it is important for you to stay very calm, very composed, and then answer this. Okay. So there are some common difficulty questions, like tell me a weakness you have. This is something a very important question. So the first two questions, where there is a gap in the CV profile and there is a weakness that you have. So your weakness, you think that ये तो काफी stupid weakness है. Okay, so uh, let's assume an example that I have a weakness, when it comes to connecting with people, or when it comes to talking with people, I always keep my head down and talk, or else I always prefer not to make an eye contact. I get shied away. Okay, it might be stupid for you. Okay, or it might be a thing that you would not like to share with someone, but it is important to tell it to the interviewer, because it will show that you are honest with yourself. Okay, you are working on it, and going forward, suppose if you get selected in that firm, I will try to do something for you to, to get off of this weakness. Okay. So that is something very important. And then there is why a gap is there in your CV, or why a gap is there in your profile. So before joining Loda, I had around 9 months of gap wherein I had some certain medical reasons, with my family. And I had to actually leave my good job at PwC, and I had to wait back with my family, to support their needs. So I will make the panel understand what was the situation when there was, when the gap started, and what is the situation right now. What is the progress? What extra I did? So in the gap, I attended guest lectures, I kept myself abreast with the current policies, with the current happenings in the HR world. I also, wrote 2 or 3 articles. I also started writing a book. So what all things you did? See, the gap can be quite long. Some people who are there, who are doing UPSC, they have 2.5, 3 years gap. But how you are making the panel understand that, okay, gap है, but इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि मैं खाली ही बैठा रहा. I did something positive. I did something productive. Okay. You are meant to, make this understand to the panel. And then, the third question, perhaps, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? You won't just simply go and say, I would see myself as an IIT graduate, and I would see myself, working with a good firm and all. You need to have a bit clear vision about yourself. You will definitely say this key, I will graduate, I will graduate, and I'll look towards a good life ahead. But again, what exact kind of life you want, what exact kind of professional things you aspire, and how much you would have achieved by then in the next 5 years is something I believe, would always be beneficial when you answer a question like this. Okay. So do's and don't, uh, interview etiquettes have some certain do's and don'ts wherein you have to research deeply about the firm. Okay, you have to go on their LinkedIn profiles, you have to search for their active HR professionals, or active professionals wherever they are working for. So the other day I got a job offer, suppose, let's example, I got a job offer, and that particular firm was something who was, who were establishing themselves in India. So it is a US based firm, and their India employees are pretty less. So I went on LinkedIn, I derived all the info. I understood when this firm was, established, what are these current uh, what is the current AUM, that is assets under management. Then what is the profit? What is the kind of market they deal into? Okay, so all these kind of things you need to, perhaps understand. You also have to demonstrate in emotional intelligence. You also have to ask thoughtful questions. Okay, so demonstrating EQ means basically you have to show your emotional side to some of the questions. There might be some questions wherein you would be asked about what do you feel about this particular thing, not as a professional, but as a person or as a human. So you need to have your emotional senses sound and immediate action, required, wherein you will describe about all these things. Then you will ask thoughtful questions wherein you will ask that, okay, I got through the role. What are the KRAs and KPIs that I have to perform in the interview in the span of 2 or 3 odd months? Okay, so understanding, or sorry, not understanding, but asking them questions that are actually thoughtful will show me. So suppose if today Dhruv asked me a question, that what are the KRAs, KPIs? What kind of team do we have? What kind of people we are working with? How is the market that you deal with? Is it currently fragile, or is it currently steady, or what exactly it is? So that will show me that, okay, Dhruv is actually interested in learning about it. And once he comes, or before he comes, he wants to understand, he wants to be prepared around all these things in some or the other way. Okay. And again, then you have to show your problem solving skills, via some example. And you also have to demonstrate how you can adapt to the changing nature of your tasks. So suppose if in the morning I have to, recruit 10 candidates for North India. In the evening, I have to recruit 15 for South Indian region. Okay. I should be able to adapt, and I should be able to immediately, turn my horses towards the second half as well once I'm ending with my first half. It should not be like कि okay मैंने first half का काम आधा छोड़ दिया and तभी मैं second half में बैठ गया. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, but हर time नहीं होना चाहिए. ठीक है? So that shows how you are resilient enough, how you are swift enough, and how you can adapt through tasks. Okay. Then comes then comes the do's and don'ts. So we move towards the don'ts part. Give me a moment. Yeah. So then we move towards the don'ts part, wherein we should avoid using buzzwords without substance. So buzzwords like, synergy, innovative, or, any kind of words that perhaps, sound very Gen Z to us. We should avoid it without the proper context. Suppose if you are able to understand, you are able to make the panel understand, about any kind of things, you know, uh, try to keep the language simple and understandable enough. Okay. Because suppose if you cannot back the buzzwords, without concrete example or experiences, you know, that will actually sound very insincere of yours to, to make it, or it will sound like you are faking it. Okay. Instead of that, perhaps you can, focus on how you applied these situations in real life. Okay. Then you are also recommended to avoid giving cookie cutter answers. Okay. Like, for example, you will say, like, I'm a team player or I'm a hard worker. Okay. But in reality, you have never worked properly with your team, or you have never put that much effort. It will go waste. Suppose if tomorrow you even get through to the interview, but कल को जब आप जाके 10-12 लोग के टीम में बैठोगे, ठीक है, and you are not able to work in a team, you are not able to coordinate. At that point of time, questions will arise ki why in the interview then the person said ki I am a team player, or I am a team, or I am a team obsessed individual, who works with team or who likes working with teams. So that is something you should avoid. You should not always, oversell yourself too much. Like, it is okay, perhaps telling about your skills and all, in interview, what we do, we sell ourselves to the company, but avoid telling a lot of vulnerabilities about yours, about avoid telling a lot of positive things about you. It should be a balance between perfectly, positive as well as some of the negative aspects, because you cannot always show one side greater to the firm. As an intern, you cannot always show that, okay, I am positive only, or okay, I am negative only. Okay, so avoid these kind of things, and should not focus on salary in early interviews. So suppose if the technical round is going on, there you cannot ask the HR that, okay, what is the stipend I'll get. Okay, that is something that is either predefined, or else you can perhaps negotiate in the last round, or else a, a very simple advice to intern is, don't think about the stipend. You can somewhat think about it when you appear for the final interviews, in your fourth year. But right now, it would, I mean, I would advise not to think about stipend, be it 10,000, 20,000, 1 lakh, 4 lakh, anything. Take it up, because internship is important as of now. The experience you get is important as of now. Okay. And then you should not cut off, or you should not overshare about things. Like I said about, oversharing, where oversharing actually at one point of time can automatically turn towards, can turn towards bad mouthing about your own firm, okay, or your own previous firm, and that will come across as a very negative thing. Okay. Okay, so with this, perhaps we come to the end of the session. I'm keeping the pool open, for Q&A sessions. And meanwhile, till the time you guys can ask up your questions, the mic is all yours. Please fill up the feedback form and let me know how you like the session. If you have any kind of questions, you can just unmute and ask. The mic is all yours. Please also fill up the feedback form meanwhile. Guys, any kind of questions you have, anything that you have not understood, or anything that you want me to, you focus more upon. Let me see if someone's
So,
answering in the chat.
Aditya, there are some questions in the chat.
Yes, sure. Sir, will you share the slides? Sure, I'll share. Buzzwords. Yes. So Anuj, buzzwords mean basically words, that are like, suppose if that day I was going through a list of buzzwords, that was being discussed in a meeting. I'll just tell you. So, buzzwords like disruptor or innovative, suppose if you tell that I am a very innovative person, but what kind of thing have you innovated, or what kind of thing, or what kind of innovation have you done that has actually, resulted in some positive change in your previous experience? Okay, you should avoid list, or you should avoid things like this. So buzzword is something that can perhaps show, एक थोड़ा बोलते हैं ना, बड़ा चढ़ा के दिखाने का तरीका. अभी मैं समझो सिनर्जी बोलूंगा. सो सिनर्जी में क्या एग्जैक्टली सिनर्जी है, ऐसा क्या चीज है जो जिसके लिए कुछ अच्छा डिफरेंस हुआ है मेरे प्रीवियस फॉर्म में. तो ऐसी चीजें, ऐसे वर्ड्स मुझे अवॉइड करने हैं बेसिकली. ओके. हाउ टू काम स्ट्रेस बिफोर इंटरव्यू. Stress before interview, Anuj, I would recommend you to firstly meditate. Okay, meditate and then listen to any kind of music you like. Okay. Uh, Avoid listening to very harsh music. I mean, any kind of music that pleases you, but avoid listening to very sad music or very loud music. There are some certain playlists on on YouTube available as well. I'll share that along with this by the end of today's day. So you can perhaps go through those music playlists. You can listen them. You can meditate as well. While doing that, and talk to yourself as much as you can. Don't go and talk with your friends because everyone would be equally in the same stage. So talk to yourself, or else at the best talk to your parents. Okay, perhaps that will help you to calm your stress. Let's say if the interview does not seem to be interested, you cannot do anything. Uh, that is something very self realization kind of thing. यू कैनॉट डू बट आप ऐसा भी सपोज अभी मुझे लगा कि यार आदित्य जो है मेरा इंटरव्यू ले रहा है बट ही इज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड तो मैं ऐसे तो नहीं बोल सकता या फिर मैं उधर ही मेरा खुद का इंटरव्यू तो खत्म नहीं कर सकता आई स्टिल हैव टू आंसर द क्वेश्चंस आई स्टिल हैव टू एक्ट ऑन दैट okay I still have to describe about the situation or anything that are the interview etiquettes I have to follow it मैं थोड़ी अगर सामने वाला इंटरेस्टेड नहीं फिर मैं भी वैसे ही नहीं बैठ सकता आई विल डू माई वर्क ओके परहैप्स 1% एफर्ट में एक्स्ट्रा दूंगा ओके बट बियॉन्ड दैट आई कैनॉट डू एनीथिंग आई कैनॉट इवन आस्क हिम कि यू डोंट सीम टू बी इंटरेस्टेड इज देयर एनीथिंग दैट इज बॉदरिंग यू ऐसा अपन नहीं पूछ सकते इवन दो वी वांट टू आस्क एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम ओके कैन वी ऐड सम स्केच ऑफ पेंटिंग स्किल्स I guess you can add it in your hobbies, but you cannot add as a sketch. Because until and unless that is something that is related to the job it should not be added or it should not be made your portfolio suppose अगर मेरा कोई पोर्टफोलियो है अगर समझो मुझे कल कोई इंस्टीट्यूशन एक लेक्चरर के तौर पे यू नो एक लेक्चरर के तौर पे हायर कर रहे हैं so what has been my portfolio I'll attach everything that I have told in my previous guest lectures and what has been the feedback or not बट अगर वो रेलिवेंट नहीं है तो फिर यू शुड अवॉइड यू कैन जस्ट मेंशन इन योर हॉबीज की ओके आई डू पेंटिंग एंड आई हैव सम ऑफ माय स्केचेस इफ दे टेल यू दैट ओके यू कैन शो मी यू कैन कीप इट रेडीली अवेलेबल बट नॉट डायरेक्टली आप वो दिखाओगे उधर जाके ओके I had given an interview where I think I was the last candidate. Maybe they had already picked people. See, yes, there might be scenarios wherein you are the last candidate and it might seem कि वो लोग एक लेने के लिए इंटरव्यू ले रहे हैं but again treat it as a pretty normal interview okay don't make up assumptions कि यार मैं तो लास्ट कैंडिडेट हूँ मैं तो होऊंगा नहीं सिलेक्ट 99% हो सकता है कि आप लास्ट कैंडिडेट हो 1% there still might be a chance because see nothing is impossible there might be a scenario wherein some of the HRs I have seen people doing like this like there was one last candidate who was extremely impressive and they had to expand their pool of hiring so they took him as well so such kind of things happen and you should not be demotivated because of it suppose we have a situation based on situation based question and the interview is not convinced my answer see you cannot directly tell that you can have different opinions okay you are allowed to have your opinion they are allowed to have their opinions but you should always give some supporting arguments okay बिकॉज सी अगर यू आपने बोल दिया कि भाई मेरा भी है ओपिनियन एंड आप अपने ओपिनियन अलग अलग हो सकते हैं वो थोड़ा रूड साउंड होगा इंस्टेड till the time you feel that you are able to give some supportive arguments try giving it and give it okay at one point of time the interviewer will himself or herself tell you that okay maybe we can move towards the next question but in my career I have never seen people people who stop giving supportive arguments so till the end you are supposed to give it okay Somdeep you have raised your hands you have any question
Thank you, Aditya sir. Sir, beautiful lecture. So my question, actually, I am a PhD student here. So what we face as a teaching assistant in the courses, some students get interested in some certain field, like some statistics or anything, and they want to do some internship. But only few government organization they work on this field, and they don't take usually they don't have any notification. So how do you think student can approach those institute to which are not eagerly ready to take the students? But students have passion, develop passion for the subject or anything. So do you have any suggestions, sir?
Yeah. Uh, about the government part, I haven't been exposed, but I guess when the last time I came, to the institution, I was asked the same thing. Right now, also, I'll tell the same thing that perhaps suppose if anyone who's interested into statistics and a certain government organization is not actively looking for the candidates, is what you are asking, right, Somdeep?
Yes, sir, exactly.
या सो सी अगर ओपनिंग होगा ही नहीं या फिर अगर उन लोग को पर्टिकुलर चीजों पर्टिकुलर इंस्टीट्यूशन से लेना ही नहीं रहेगा तो फिर यू कैनॉट डू मच बट यू शुड ऑलवेज ट्राई टू एनहांस योर पर्सनल पोर्टफोलियो ठीक है अगर आपको इंटरेस्ट है स्टैटिस्टिक्स में इट्स गुड but apart from that apart from applying jobs or apart from running behind government institutions in the back end always अपना खुद का पोर्टफोलियो बढ़ाओ इसके ये बढ़ाओ क्या बोलते हैं खुद के अच्छे credentials बनाओ maybe take up some course do a research paper okay maybe you can take up some self research as well they are available on the internet या फिर physical market में खुद के इंस्टीट्यूशन में कोई एक ऐसा रिसर्च करो सो कीप ऑल दीज थिंग्स रेडी बिकॉज अगर किसी के पास एक्टिवली कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं है यू नो देर वुड तो फिर वो लोग 99% नहीं लेंगे बट स्टूडेंट शुड ऑलवेज बी रेडी समझो अगर कल को जाके कोई किधर दूर अगर ओपन अप हुआ भी और अगर तभी आपका स्टूडेंट रेडी नहीं है तो फिर तभी आप ये नहीं बोल पाओगे कि यार ये कंपनी लेती नहीं है right so students in the meantime should always keep researching keep doing some kind of stuff okay but ये सब चीजों में perhaps if they can try something from outside for the company to respond perhaps they can try getting in touch with the with the professionals on LinkedIn or else किसी ने पहले अगर वो कॉलेज से कुछ किया रहेगा तो and suppose if it happens to be the alumni of your college so that actually helps.
Thank you so much, sir.
Ayush, over to you.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for the incredibly insightful session. It was a great look into what really matters in an interview and how to present yourself with clarity and confidence. We will be now moving on to the one-on-one mock interview round. Due to time constraints, we will only be able to accommodate 4 participants, selected on a first-come, first-served basis. The QR code that I hope you are able to see on the screen. This is the QR code for the FCFS Google form. So I would request all of you to please sign this up quickly. Uh, these interviews will be conducted on a separate Google Meet room. The link for which we will be shared to you through WhatsApp. This will be a one-on-one interview. Let me just check how many registrations we have got so far, and then we can end the session.
Guys, if any one of you have some certain questions, you can reach out to me. Ayush and the team will give my LinkedIn ID. Okay, I hope you all can connected with me on LinkedIn. If not, I'll just share the link as well in the chat box.
Yes, Aditya, we will share your LinkedIn profile to all the candidates.
Sure, sure.
Please scan the QR code quickly so we can wrap the session and move to the next part.
Just a moment. Yeah.
Guys, we'll be waiting 1 more minute. You can scan the QR code quickly.
We are expecting 4 people, right, Ayush?
Yes, Aditya. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Uh, we will be now wrapping the demystifying interviews of this year. We hope all these sessions were really helpful to all of you. So thank you once again, guys. Thank you so much.